different realities were available to us at any given time. But the wave is a possibility, and how the observer affects the wave is to break it down into an atom, which is a physical reality. So it depends on the observer as to how the wave is broken down into an actual thing that's visible, that's logical, that's tangible.
So the observer has a lot to do with this.
Is the one who has the effect. So if you look at those scientific things that they did back in the day, where they watched the waves and how the waves behaved and how they didn't behave, and then they realized that when they observed and they didn't observe, the waves behaved in an actual way when they didn't observe, and when they did observe, like they behaved in a, how would I say it, in a uniform way when they weren't observed. And so they come back and look at the reports, and it was a uniform. The waves put things at the wall like in dots like this. But when someone was observing it, then the pattern became like not logical. They couldn't put uniformity to it. So it depended on whoever was observing it. They would see different things based on the observer's intention. It's all the same. Psychology, spirituality, science,
Quantum physics.
they're all saying the same thing in a different way, and sometimes you need to hear it one way and sometimes you need to hear it another. But it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Sometimes you believe in God, sometimes you think God sucks, and then you need to read a book on science and you're like, it's exactly what God is saying, you know what I mean? But everybody needs to hear it a little bit differently, but it's all the same. Several realities going on at the same time.
Right? Yes,
You
there are.
can choose to be part of whichever reality it is that
How-
you are focusing on.
how do you
That's what I
choose?
was saying about the observer effect.
That's
So
what we were going to get to. How do you choose?
it's because what you focus on. Because what you see is what you want to see, or what you believe that you're supposed to see is the thing that you see. But you have several different realities available to you at that time. So you could say something to me and I could be in the reality of you're a fucking cunt, and you're a wanker and I want to fight you, or you could be in the reality of you're awesome, dude, that was super fucking funny. You know, and it's that simple. It seems like a very 20-dimensional thing, but it's that simple. Like I can choose whichever reality I was at that moment. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
So it's your choice. It has more to do with just your emotions. You could just physically choose something,
Yeah.
and that would shift you right into another dimension.
into a different reality. I think reality and dimension, like dimension seems like another world, but reality is just like, it is another world, but it seems more logical and more human, more like it's a choice, you know what I mean? Where dimension seems to people like, do I need a spaceship? But reality is like, I can choose this reality or that reality. I can choose to believe what you're saying now, or I can choose to say, you're talking about the shite. You know what I'm saying?
She's going to have her own YouTube channel soon.
I had a great time, or I'll say I had a crap time, or whatever. Like, dimensions and reality seem so foreign to people, but when you break it down to their everyday lives, we were all in the same space. We all saw the same band. We all talked to the same man at the bar. But everybody's going to come back with a different perception based on how they broke down the wave of possibility into their reality, and that's the observer effect.
That's awesome.
Then in 2016, the earth shifted beneath our feet. The rebellion started.
When I spoke about the orbs in my first video, I left something out because I didn't want to sound like a nut. Go figure, huh? If you want the details on the orbs, it's in my first video. But what I didn't mention was I received impressions, about 5 of them. I can't even remember them all. I would be speculating on 3 of them. One of them was, it was for me to see, as far as the orbs go. But the impressions I was getting, you know, I had a cigarette in my hand, and the first impression that came through was stop eating meat. And I looked down at my cigarette and thought to myself, well, what about these things? and they said, you know, you need to get rid of anything that's not hurting you. We're not concerned with it. These weren't words. It was just it was like a paragraph. Boom. You know, that's on the list, but who cares about that? Stop eating meat. It's the energy you're putting in your body. It's not, you know, it's, yes, you don't want to be you want to be loving to all animals, but it was more that what's happening to these animals that you're eating, that you're consuming. The energy is negative because of what's happening to them, and you're putting that energy in your body, and that's what you're going to give out. I mean, that was the whole point about not eating meat. If you eat meat, that's great. Whatever you do is fine. You know, it's about you anyway. But this was for me. It was to stop eating meat. Interestingly enough, the first week I forgot bacon and pepperoni were meat. After I stopped that, about a week later, I was totally off of meat. I guess I went total vegan. Maybe not. I was still putting cream in my coffee and butter on my toast. So I guess I was just vegetarian for a few weeks, and that's when everything came to me. I mean, that's when everything kind of came around, and I really started to realize I couldn't prove the Earth was a globe. I realized I couldn't prove it was flat either, and my whole perspective changed. That was the trigger for me that I was speaking about. That's when the stars jumped out at me and were trying to communicate with me, or the universe was trying to communicate with me, or the multiverse was trying to communicate with me, or whatever. That's why I, you know, really understand the stars more as, to me, intelligent beings, or an intelligent being is behind them. But I didn't mention that. I forgot, and then I thought, oh, let me just leave it out. Sounds a little kooky. Go figure. Right from the beginning, I've been saying it's about what's in your perception, and I believe that's, you know, the direction I'm going. I'm going to experience life. I came across a video where a gentleman said he was going to take a break for a few weeks. It's been 2 or 3 now since that video went up. I'm going to link it. It had some good info and it had some good insight in it. You know, I'd say it was a little bit more religious, but I don't think he went too far on anything. You know, I enjoyed it. I kind of understood his points, but I tried to do the same thing with Facebook. I tried to get rid of Facebook, and you know, I go back every once in a while and check it out. So I'm not saying I'm putting this down, but I think there's something to this as far as YouTube being a part of the system. It's definitely helping us, and it's definitely helping us grow. But I don't believe I'll post as often. I'm going to try and just put it down and experience what's around me and the perceptions that I'm having, rather than making my perception part of YouTube. Excuse me. Flat Earth, you know, I'm kind of over it. You know, I mention it to people. I'll bring up a couple Mandela effects to have them, you know, raise their eyebrows and go, whoa, you know, and then they start having dual memories and remembering both things, and they can't explain it, and I bring up Flat Earth. Because the idea truly is to change your perception, change your belief system. Beliefs can be changed. Change it. Once you change it, things start to change and happen around you. That's what the Mandela effect and Flat Earth are for, in my opinion. That's what they were given to us for, to help us change our perception. You know, to get up in arms about, you know, I've been through that a million times, you know, we're not fighting anybody. But just change your perception, that's what it's been. All right, so I went looking for the one book that I documented everything in, And I found this is the first book I started documenting in. I couldn't find the other one. I'm sure I will. So I just packed it away somewhere. And what I did is I actually wrote down, there's almost 400 changes that I've found. I didn't agree with all of them, but other people, put stuff in here. Some things, like Desi Arnaz, the spelling of his last name's changed. I didn't know that one way or the other. I didn't know who Andrew Zimmerman is, and if his name changed to Zimmern, Smokey the Bear, or Smokey Bear. Alex Trebek, with it ending in an no, I'm sorry, Alex Trebek or Alec Trebek. But this is just some of the things I started writing down. And I found this thing right in the beginning. And this must have been about 2 months after I started having all these experiences. And I have been coming across some that I'm realizing, wow, that'll be neat to put on YouTube. I'm going to read this. And it's strange to me that I picked this up back in last September, October, probably October. Yet I've said these things all along, periodically, sporadically. All right, this is what I wrote down. To change your perception of the world around you and you, it is necessary to research something you believe is impossible, that others know is possible and true. I almost want to rethink that. Example, I believe the earth is more flattish than globular. After researching the topic, I realized that there are some very intriguing facts that prove the earth is not a globe. But they didn't prove to me that it was flat either. The point is, there are several people who believe the earth is flat and who won't stop until everyone believes it too. That's the trap. It's not a matter of whether or not the earth is a globe or a pancake. The key is to realize it is not important what you believe or what the truth is. You don't have to be right. Once you get the point of surrender, detach from beliefs and become neutral and start to notice the world around you like it is the first time. When you begin to see things change, it can be a frightening experience, but it doesn't have to be. See, I see these thoughts, they're just coming in, and I would just write them down. When your awakening begins, you will go through pain, fear, joy, and happiness. This will last as long as the individual needs it to last. The question you will have will not be the answer. The questions you have will not be answered by anyone outside of yourself, even those who can explain to you what is actually happening. There is nothing to fear. You will come out of the confusion by letting go of everything that does not serve you. You will have more questions, and you will be amazed at how effortlessly the answers come. You will be in slight shock when you see items disappear and reappear, brand names change, colors change, and so on. Walk through this fear and turn it into excitement. For you are breaking down the walls of illusion. You begin to see things as they really are. Take this and be compassionate to everything around you without attachment. Be neutral and observe the world around you as for the first time. You then may see the stars shine for you. Well, I know what happened right before this. And then I just get into all the different effects. See, some of these I don't understand. I just remember other people talking about them or mentioning them, and I would just write them down. How the word volume was spelled. There's 2 different ways, apparently. Okay, good enough for now. I've been thinking about not posting as much, trying to get my ideas out there. I'm going to go ahead and locate the book that I wrote things down in last August, September, October. And if I see any interesting stories in there, I'll go ahead and post them. Anything happens now, I'll post. But I'm experiencing life in a different way now. I may not be making as much money as I was before, but I'm freer, I'm happier. Plus all this knowledge that I've come across, everything's a lot different. Things are shaping up my way because I believe I am the creator of my reality. And if we are all in our own little dimension or our own dimension from what we can perceive, then we can create whatever's going on around us, period. To say I am God and I am the creator, that's a little, I don't know, I'm sure there's plenty of words for that. But if I'm the only one that is truly conscious in this dimension, no matter how close the other people are consciously in their dimensions to mine, I am still the creator of my dimension. I mean, I've been having conversations with people where I'm talking and, I understand that people don't listen and just talk about what they want to talk about. But the responses I'm getting sometimes, and I'm not even talking about flat earth or Mandela effects or time loops or anything else, they're just answering me like I said something completely different. So they're in their own little dimension and experiencing their own thing. As am I, as are you, we all are. So I'm thinking, when, we're not really manipulating anything, we're not controlling anything, but we're using it to our benefit for our experience because this is our own personal dimension. It's down here. So if we're all creating our own little dimensions and our own little realities, that's something else I wanted to bring up. I think I wrote this down somewhere. We are in our own dimensions. Okay, we have dimensions. And when we have a jump and we notice a Mandela effect, we're jumping on another timeline. But everybody's been talking as we're just jumping into another dimension. It's true, we are. But for your own personal reality, you're just jumping on another timeline. Same dimensions. It's all terminology. And Michaela was right. It's all the same, just different terminology. But anyway, that's what I've been doing. I've been deliberately creating my life. Deliberately going out of my way to do things. If I think about something, I just do it. I figure I shifted into another direction, another timeline, dimension, whatever. And I do things from a perspective of like goodness, happiness, joy, love. And I see the people around me, boy, they have their problems. I mean, they got this issue going on, that issue going on. It's amazing. And the one person said to me, how can you sit there and listen to that story and just not have any emotion about it at all? I said, look, I'm not getting involved. I'm not going to, here's a good word for this. I'm not going to jeopardize my feelings, my happiness over somebody else who is just trying to suck up my energy. Look, I'll do everything I can for this person. I did everything I could that was within my power to help this person out. But to sit there and wallow over it and cry over it, it's just not, I'm sorry, I've been through those things. This person will be fine. Why bother? This is nice. I didn't fall. I came out to a nice little area here. See, I'm honestly not being cold or heartless. You know, I'm doing what I can for, you know, somebody who's in need. But to get emotionally involved, I don't see the point. So I am deliberately creating my reality now on purpose. Even when I'm not sure. Today I just got in the car and started driving. YouTube will still be a part of my little dimensional bubble to try and help people and maybe get them to do the same thing. You know, do it on their own. Figure out what it is they want in life and do it. Because that's what I'm doing. And hopefully, you know, I absolutely, not even hopefully, I totally know that one day I'll get on here and I'll explain what I wanted and what I have. I don't know how much detail, but right now I know I have what I want in this moment. And it's absolutely incredible. Look at those trees. I really think I'm onto something. This is my own personal little dimension. And it just feels right. It feels like this is the direction we're all kind of going in. And it's the way it's always been, and we're just becoming aware of it now. There are no ugly people in my dimension. It's amazing. Everybody's beautiful. You see, I think what I mean about not posting on YouTube or not getting involved in it is like these mountains in the back with the clouds coming over. You know, I'm standing here and enjoying that. And then all of a sudden I felt like, oh, I got to film that for everybody. Why? You know, it's not going to, I mean, I don't mind sharing it, but you're not getting the same effect that I am. You know, so I think that's part of the whole, you know, why spend a lot of time on YouTube? I don't know. I mean, every once in a while. I'm sure I'm going to post. But I just feel like there's something to that, and I'll figure it out. I've been dealing with this thing as far as posting on YouTube. I'm going to post my experiences. I'm going to keep posting. Yeah, am I going to put as much energy into it as I have been? I don't know. I might have to, because I'm experimenting. I'm living my life. I'm creating, you know, in my own dimensional bubble. I mean, you know, I'm doing it. And when things happen that I see are obvious, I'm going to go ahead and post it. But that's what I'm battling with, and you can see that in this video that I'm going to post this on. You can see, I mean, it's 2 weeks of just sporadic thoughts on not posting on YouTube because, you know, why? Because I'm putting that in my perception. Yeah, it's part of who I am. You know, part of who I am helps people see themselves for who they truly are. I've known that. I talk to people. I try and get them to open up. You know, that's what I do. So, and if that helps on YouTube too, that's fine. That's fantastic. Also, the blood over intent. You know, I looked into that probably about a month ago. I emailed a couple of people about it. I wanted them to look into it to see what they thought. For me, it's too ritualistic. You know, it may be a great thing. It may not be. It's still dogmatic to me. So I don't. I kind of let it go. I want to see what other people they said they've been into it. See, what I've gotten from that is people who have done it went through experiences that I went through back in last September, October. I went through a lot. I mean, a lot of things happened to me, and you know, I've posted some of them. I'll post some more. I'll try and keep it in some kind of orderly fashion. But the whole blood over intent, I considered it. You know, I thought about doing it. But then I figured I'd watch and see what happens with these other people. And I see what they're going through is very similar to what I went through. People were talking about 12 steps. You go through, you know, the pain and the acceptance and all these things you go through. Well, I went through all that. And I think they may be going through the same thing when they do this blood over intent. Yet, there's a part of me that thinks, you know, there's just something not right about it, so I kind of back off on it. You know, I don't know that I necessarily believe that people are being possessed after they do this, you know, but that thought has crossed my mind. I don't think so. But that's how I feel about the blood over intent. I'm still kind of keeping an eye on it, but I'm not really going towards it. I may have gone through that without even knowing it. You know, I'm still investigating that. And even though I decided I'm going to post, just keep posting YouTube videos, you can see how long. I mean, it's 2 weeks? It may have been 3 weeks that I keep posting these little clips on how I'm not going to post anymore, so I can go and experience life how I see it. But no, I'm going to keep posting. But you can see how long it's been driving at me. I'm like, wow, what should I do about this? I mean, this is something I've seen other people do, and you know, should I do it too? But I'm going to keep posting if something comes up to post. So even though I say, you know, I'm over flat Earth, and I believe that flat Earth is one of the biggest Mandela effects. That's just my own personal opinion. I realized when I was saying that flat Earth was in the Mandela effect, whereas Mandela effect wasn't in flat Earth. That's what I meant. That, you know, the discovery of flat Earth is part of the Mandela effect, or part of those changes, part of the things that we're discovering now. You know, but it's so big, flat Earth, that it's great that people are studying it and checking it out and looking for the proof and the research. I watch it all the time. I think it's important. I think it's important those things are out there. I even think it's important that, well, that the fear-mongering, just to a point, you know, to where somebody watches it enough that realize, oh, this just isn't going to happen, or, hey, let me shift into another dimension, or timeline, because that's all that's going to happen, even when those things happen. I mean, the shock of it's going to push you right into another timeline where it doesn't happen. That's just an opinion. I think it's a pretty good one. I am truly creating my reality all around me. What disturbs me is I'm noticing other people's reality bubbles more than my own. I am seeing my own, and I'm getting signs. And, I don't want to say being told what to do, but there was a gentleman I had to deal with every single day, and he was completely annoying. And I did the best I could, and finally I told him, you know, that wasn't enough, and I just opened up an email that told me, the word was annoying. I don't know what verbatim was used or what exactly was used in wording, but like, if there are people that are annoying in your life, go out in the sun and absorb that energy, and those people will not be in your life. It'll be taken care of. And I did that. I went outside and I just bathed in the sun and went downstairs, talked to some people in work who just told me that guy was just arrested. So I don't know, coincidence? But that's, you know, and I see, but not just the people around me. I also see the reality bubble around people that are on YouTube. You know, some people, everybody's where they are. I mean, you're where you're at in your development. You're where you're at in your growth. And, you know, it's up to you what you want to do about it. You're the creator. You know, this isn't a reply to Lori or anything, but, you know, she was talking about preparing, and she wanted to understand, or I responded about why prepare. What is it you're afraid of? And I don't understand it. I understand it, I accept it, because because I've been through it. I've been there. I've stored water. I've stored food. That stuff's not real, or at least it's not real to me in the timeline I'm in, the dimension I'm in. I mean, and see, and this is where it's like, does this sound loopy? Because for me, look, if the shit happens, I'm not even going to know it, because I'm just going to shift into another. My consciousness is going to leave and go somewhere where it is more acceptable to where my beliefs are and what I accept as life. If it happens that, I die of starvation or thirst or, the frigid cold or what, okay. That, I know that's not going to happen. I know that's just not the way it is. That was all programming in the past that, I shedded. It's all fear-based. What are you preparing for? Your life is fantastic, you love it, it's great, then you wouldn't be preparing for anything. If you can't stand your life, change it. If you're somewhere in the middle and you want to prepare, okay. If you need to prepare, prepare. Someday it'll hit you that, okay, it's nice to have these extra things around or whatever, but it's not needed. It's a program. But like I said, if that's where you are, everybody is in their own growth stage. If that's where you are and that's what you need to learn certain things, then by all means, that's what you got to do. I'm getting dizzy walking in circles. So Lori, look, this wasn't supposed to be a reply to you. You do deserve a video reply, no doubt. Trying to explain to someone why I wouldn't bother preparing for destruction, or what do you want to call it? I mean, do you call them natural disasters now? Are they still natural disasters? To prepare is to say, I'm afraid of something. But that's just my own personal opinion. I guess it's nice to have extra things laying around, food and water, just in case. How do I put this? See, I say that, but I don't really believe that. But I say, yeah, you could. It's like explaining to a flat Earth shill that the Earth is really flat. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I hope this helps you, Laura, and anybody else watching. But I don't know. I'm creating everything around me, so preparing for government takeover or natural disasters or alien invasion, it's just not in my perception. And if that does happen, like I said, I'm moving on. My consciousness is going to go somewhere else where I'm just not buying that. If you believe that stuff, you'll experience that stuff. And you may talk to another version of me where I'm going, damn, I wish I prepared.